All praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Bahashim Harakhakodash, double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. Just real quick, following up in the same spirit as we had with camp, going in the topic of the bitterness. Look, you want to receive the bitterness. Look at what this generation does today. If you want to be different, if you want to be holy in the sight of the Lord, look at what the generation does today and just do the opposite. You know, this generation, the scripture says, is a generation that curses their father and their mother. You know, this generation today loves to shit on their own parents, love to talk ish about their own parents, and this ain't that, and that ain't this, and you know, everybody's out for their own gain. And then you also have Israelites in the truth who are choosing to control, alt, delete the scriptures. We're just not going to deal with the bitter. There are certain things we're not okay with, so we're just not going to deal with it. We're going to pretend like it isn't there. We're going to bend the rules. Look, don't be like them. What's written in the scriptures, if it seems bitter, reach out, inquire. Brother, I got a question. I'm kind of confused about this law. Can you break it down to me? It's hard for me to understand, right? It's hard for me to kind of digest. Can you break it down to me? Is this really what it says? Is this really what this means? And that's how you get understanding. Don't be like the wicked, rebellious house of Israel. Even though they call themselves Israelites, they're telling the Lord, I'm not dealing with the bitter. It's too yucky. That's hard for me to receive. We're not going to deal with it. And then simultaneously persecute those who do stand up for the truth. So they don't even know that they're persecuting the Lord. They don't understand that everything that's happening to this day, them rebelling against what's written, them condemning the prophets, standing up and defending what's written in the scriptures. They don't understand, like Yahushua said. He said, for judgment I am coming to the earth. And for judgment, these doctrines are being taught so that they can deny it so many times before the Lord has had enough. Don't be like them, okay? Receive it. Because they are content in their heart to say, I'm not going to receive that. I am not eating that, Lord. I don't care how many times you get the prophets to say it, to bring it up, to deal with it. I'm not dealing with it. I'm ashamed of it. To me, you ain't right for that judgment. I'm just not going to receive that. We're just all going to move along as if that's not written. Don't be like them, man. Okay, you want to eat the whole roll, receiving it all in your heart so that you can come before the Lord not as a hypocrite. As Ezekiel 2, verse 8, but thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee, be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. See what the Lord said? Ezekiel, don't be like them. Be different. Eat the whole roll. Eat everything that I give you. You got guys want to, I don't want to be an Israelite no more because I lost friendships. I lost opportunities. People don't want to talk to me. My grandma don't talk to me no more, all because they know I'm an Israelite now. I'm not going to be a part of that no more. But I still believe in the Lord. No, you don't. Because he said, if you eat that, take up the cross and follow after me. Literally, and right after that, he says, what? A servant is not greater than his master. They persecute me, they will persecute you also. But what did Yahushua say? All that ever been before me with thieves and robbers and try to come up, what? Some other way. The straight and narrow is too uncomfortable. I like the broad and the wide. The horseradish root, oh, that's too bitter. I'm not eating that. I'm going to get lettuce because it's comfortable to my palates. Don't be like them. All right, it goes on. And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent to me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written lamentations, mournings, and woe. So what book are these guys eating? Lamentations goes to the word lament. Lament means to mourn or to cry. Mourning and woe, this is what the Lord gave us. There's sweet and there's bitter. But the wicked, rebellious house of Israel will say, I'm not eating that. It's disgusting. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be ashamed for what's written. If you don't understand, you want to reach out and inquire, ask the Lord to get you to open up your mind to receive it and to understand. Otherwise, you're just a hypocrite before the Lord. Psalms 119:67. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I have kept thy word. NLT. I used to wander off until you disciplined me, but now I closely follow your word. Verse 71. It is good for me that I have been afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes. NLT. My suffering was good for me, for it taught me to pay attention to your decrees. What is this telling you? Suffering and being afflicted is to help you sit back and reflect on what's important. The house of mourning keeps you remembrance of what's important. What's important is that this world shall fade away as the grass, and that everything in this world is temporal. The house of mirth dwells in the realm of delusions and not reality. But those who eat the whole roll, the sweet and the bitter, understand this is all temporal. This isn't permanent. So it keeps your eyes on the prize. He said, before I was afflicted, I went astray. Why? Because we just doing our own thing. We were steering off course. That's the whole point of this race. It's a race of endurance. We're running a marathon, right? But then you got to have a balance. You got to have the spiritual balance. And then in the world, you also got to have a balance. So if you start to steer too stray off one way, right, off the path, the Lord brings you back straight. And a lot of times bringing you back straight is in you with a dose of reality, sitting you down, letting you sit in either embarrassment, humiliation, shame, or revealing to you something else that's bitter, that causes you to mourn, that causes you to put your head down, be vexed. That's to help you. But you have Israelites who say, I'm not dealing with that. I don't want to deal with that. I just want to deal with the sweet. How can you advance? How can the Lord teach you and increase you spiritually if you refuse to eat what's before you? And you're being picky. He can't. You can't learn. Can you? No, you can't. Like what Bruce Lee would say, if you came to his dojo or you wanted to learn from him, he would say, empty your cup. Because in order for, how can I pour into you if you came in here full already? Proverbs 27:7 says, the full soul loatheth in honeycomb. You know what that means? You know that saying you can't teach somebody to think they know it all. It says the full soul loatheth in honeycomb, because in his mind I'm full, right? I have no need of anything else. It says, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. So to he who's hungry, any advice or anything you give them is sweet. They receive it gladly. They don't pick and choose of what's icky and what's disgusting and if it's the truth, it's the truth. But that rebellious house will sit there and say, Lord, I'm not eating that. That's disgusting. It's too bitter. So I'm going to eat something that's more comfortable to my palate and digest that. Completely disregarding the importance of it, but making themselves comfortable. Why? Because the truth is too uncomfortable. They don't want to deal with uncomfort. They don't want to deal with discomfort. They don't want to deal with bitter. They don't want to deal with mourning. It's just mirth, mirth, mirth. That's why all year round is just party. One holiday out of year, it can't be serious. It has to be a party. The herb is too bitter, so I can never eat, not even on the one night. Can't eat, can't get uncomfortable for that one night. And you got brothers who don't even drink wine the whole year, but they do on the Passover because they understand. They don't complain about it because they understand this is required. And wine, a little bit of wine is good for you anyway, as the scripture says. But that rebellious house will say no. That's why he told Ezekiel, be not like that rebellious house. So same for you. Don't be like them, man. Just because somebody says they're Israelites doesn't mean they have eaten a whole roll. And that's one of the first things you have to check when somebody calls themselves an Israelite. Have you eaten the whole roll? Lamentations 3, verse 26. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord Yahweh. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. It's good. And the scripture says, though for the present, the chastening may not seem to be joyous, but grievous, but afterward it longeth peaceable fruit. So everything the Lord's doing for you is good. Eating the whole roll is good for you. It means you put on the glasses. It means you're seeing things for what they are. You're not half-assing it. You're not still, oh, I'm only going to receive. I only want to see what I want to see. Some of the stuff is too bitter for me. So then you're not fully awakened. You're still asleep. You either wake up fully out the matrix or you're not. That's why the Lord said, I don't want to deal with no half-ass Israelites, lukewarm. You either accept it completely or you don't. And it says it's better if you didn't accept it than to receive it and play around with it, half-ass it. The Lord doesn't like that. He's giving you ample time to get the understanding of that which you may struggle with or wrestle with. Receive it for what it is so that you can grow. How else can you grow? That's why these guys who half-assing it, right, not eating the whole roll, they're stuck. The reason why IUIC can't grow because they're vehemently denying the name. They're stuck on the law. They're stuck on fringes. Sakari, the reason they can't, because they haven't eaten the whole roll, which Deacon and Hassad, they're just Sakari too. They haven't eaten the whole roll. That's why they can't grow. That's why they get embarrassed by Christians. And no Christians embarrass us. You know what I'm saying? Because the Christians will concede you guys haven't eaten the whole roll. So now they have a hole that they can exploit. Can't do it with us. So don't be like them, man. How else are you going to increase and grow if you don't eat the whole roll? The Lord doesn't deal with Israelites who want to be picky. Okay, our prophets before us, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, all the men before us, the reason we have the understanding is because they ate the whole roll. These are the men to look up to. They weren't picky with the Lord. They mourned and they wept with Israel. Right on the book of Lamentations is literally the Lamentations of Jeremiah. These Israelites, they don't want to lament. They don't want to mourn. They want mirth all year round. It shows you they're not in the right spirit. As it is written, the children sat down and rose up to play. And it says what? We are not like them. Okay? Because they're being idolaters. They're being half-assed. So eat the whole roll, man. It's good for you. It's beneficial for you. Shalom.